What's up guys, gals, non-binary pals, and none of the above. This is DL here, returning to you with more KSL Sinnoh Melee content. Today we'll be covering the game between Witchblades and Tshen. So Tshen has the roster of the Infernape, Blastoise, Rotom, Registeel, Nidoking, Licky, Sneasel, Tropius, and Glaceon, whereas Witch is packing the roster of the Dragonite, Magnezone, Milotic, Claydol, Rhyperior, Typhlosion, Ninetales, Absol, and Victreebel. So Witchblade's team is sort of a mixture of Dragmag and Manual Sun, something he's shown a liking of, like Weatherball, Victreebel, and such. Been interesting to see. And Tshen has, the big boy Infernape is really the I'd say the staple of his team. So one thing is Infernape has great coverage in this game. Grass Knot smacking Rhyperior and Claydol and Milotic pretty hard. If Witch sets up the Sun, then Infernape's only going to hit even harder. Close combat, of course, great against most of this team. The one thing is Dragonite does resist the dual stab, so it'll be interesting to see how Tshen prepares for that. Especially, Dragonite has pretty good bulk, but there is no multi-scale this generation. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, is that Dragonite not as tanky as you might anticipate in this gen. But alternatively, Dragonite looks fantastic. I mean, it always does. Dragon Stab is broken in Generation 4, like completely broken. There's no fairies. Gets great coverage moves for Registeel, things like Earthquake, Fire Blast, Superpower, whatever you want. And the Magnezone, Registeel is exactly the type of Steel type that a bulky zone can look to exploit with, things like the Magnet Rise set, substitute sets, things like that work very, very well against Registeel, and you can look to, custom tailor zones specifically to enable Dragonite to win the game. That's sort of, that's what Dragmag is supposed to do. On the other side, Tshen also doesn't have great fire resist. I mean, it's really just the Blastoise, so the double fire core of which could be very effective, but he's also very weak to rocks. Between the Dragonite and both the fire types. He does have a pretty good spinner in Claydol, but that is definitely something that Tshen could look to try to take advantage of with Pokemon like his Blastoise, like his Rotom, like his Sneasel, to try to exploit the spinner. Because Claydol does have quite a few weaknesses with its typing. So that's gonna be definitely a big thing, is that Witch has a lot of pressure on him to spin this game. Alternatively, also Rhyperior. It just kind of hits hard. There aren't a lot of great things for Tshen to take it on with. I mean, Solid Rock isn't as strong this generation as it is now, and Infernape and Blastoise can do decently against it, but Rhyperior matches up very, very well against the rest of Tshen's team, barring the Tropius. And then Nidoking, which has a lot of repeating weaknesses to things like ground and ice, and Nidoking has fantastic coverage moves, so I'd say that's a really big threat, especially it's got a good speed tier, being faster than basically everything on Witch's team except for Absol and the fire types. So yeah, definitely expecting a Nidoking to put in some work this game. So without further ado, let's get into the game. So we got Witchblades here and Tshen here. So we see the Claydol lead. We mentioned the importance of the spin, but I guess it is also likely his rocker. He's probably gonna he goes for Trick Room, interesting, into Magnezone on the Wisp. Magnezone does resist Rotom's dual stab, so that does make sense. So he's using his Trick Room turns to Thunder Wave the Rotom to make it slower. Interesting. So hard Rhyperior on the Life Orb Shadow Ball loses 58% of his HP, and because he paralyzed the Rotom is now slower than the Rhyperior in Trick Room, and slower, and it's Trick Room, so now it's faster. So now he brings out the Typhlosion now that Trick Room's over. He's going for Eruption, does a whole 45 to Licky. So and Licky's got the Rain Dance as well. So here comes the Blastoise, and this thing's going to do no damage, resisted and in the rain now. And we'll see if Witch even brought a Water Resist. Looks like the zone's just gonna get tossed. Doesn't reveal like the D-Knight or anything there. So there's the Milotic. Kind of surprised he didn't bring this out earlier. His move to hit this is Hidden Power Grass or Electric. Now he's got to switch out now that Blastoise is real toxic. He catches the Typhlo with that. So he forced switch again. I would have potentially looked for a double toxic there, but I guess no need for Tshen to get greedy. But I don't see what the big threat was. It's not like the Typhlo isn't going to do much to this Blastoise. So he does get the toxic off in the Milotic after all. And Witch has choked super hard by clicking Hidden Power there instead of Surf to kill Lucky Lucky, but Lucky Lucky's not even going to protect there. And he crits the Rotom so it dies and doesn't get the Wish. I don't know, this is, I think all Tshen needs to do is play the waiting game, wait for Milotic to get weak, and then Infernape's going to win the game. Kind of weird that he didn't heal up his Lucky Lucky. I guess he probably doesn't have Protect. So the Thunder Punch is going to kill him. As mentioned, the Sinnoh's got really good coverage in the matchup. The Claydol is tanky enough and threatens the super effective stab. He does get the rocks up, and then he gets crit by Surf, but he's got Sash, so he's okay. And all he does is get off 24 with an Earthquake. So yeah, that crit's not going to matter at the end of the day. Here's the D-Knight, and he Dragon Claws for 43. And then drops to in one shot to Ice Beam. So Typhlo will pick this thing off, and I imagine something's going to come in and kill this. Weird choice. I don't know why Tshen's going this. Just giving away his differential. And here's the Ape. I imagine it's going to close combat this thing. Oh, it's like Scarf Typhlosion. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess if it was Specs, it would have done more damage to the Licky Licky. Yeah, that's going to be game. Congratulations to Tshen. It's really weird early turns from Witchblades. And just didn't seem like he was all that prepared. Tshen didn't have to make any fancy plays. The game just sort of came to him. Just needed to wait for Milotic to be weak. And then he could send Infernape out and they could kill everything. It didn't feel like the D-Knight really got set up too well. I think based on... I think there was a chance for Witch to still win this game at this point. He gets up Rocks this turn, I believe. No, he just Earthquakes. Never mind. No, he rocked this turn. Yeah, I think he should have Earthquaked here. I guess he couldn't have known that the Blastoise was coming in. But in the case that he did Earthquake here, he gets off the extra damage, then Dragonite actually picked up the kill with Dragon Claw. And I don't know, potentially he could have won from that position, but potentially. But I'd say Tshen still has the advantage, especially I do think that the Infernape, I think Tshen told me he does have the HP Ice, in which case a Dragonite, it's never getting off a Dragon Dance against a potential Ice Punch, Nidoking, and HP Ice Infernape without the multi-scale ability to make it able to tank that and avoid the one-shots. And yeah, Sneasel has Ice Shard anyways. So yeah, Witchblades was not winning that anyways. But thank you all for watching. I think I'm finally all caught up on the games here. We just got a little bit of catch-up to do, and then playoffs. So it'll be fun. Might even do a bit of a playoff preview episode, maybe with Blaze and Romeo again. We shall see. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm looking forward to the next game.